glasses out. What? Oh, that is so cool. I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, welcome in everyone. I'm just playing a bit of Call of Duty for some reason. Normal streaming. I normally stream gameplay, but it won't let me add that on TikTok today, which is weird. It's telling me I got suspended, but I'm live right now, so I don't understand how that's happened, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, so I am currently playing Call of Duty. If anyone got any questions for me, that is fine. Welcome in, everyone. I'm King Gaddafi, X43. Oh, we lost. God damn it. It's the first game of the night, though, so. Let's raise this camera as well to make me look less fat. Oh, it's my dad. Yo, what up, everybody? Let's leave lobby for a minute. Let's sort these classes out. This one isn't actually too bad, but oh, I can't block that really. Right, let's go for what's this one? That one wasn't it? No, it wasn't. Okay, so there's that one. Oh, that's why I'm prestige, so I don't have a lot of my stuff. That's good to remember. Alright. Sure. Hey, how you doing? Okay, man. Okay. What is this live about? The live is about life and no, no, board so I'm normally streaming. I'm normally streaming gameplay on my TikTok, but yeah, it's not really working today, so I'm just sort of. Currently, I'm suffering with insomnia. Yeah, no, that's fair, man. Where much you from? I live in Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton. Yeah, that's pretty good. I say, it's just, I'm just up a lot. So, absolutely. It's a bit like some people are predisposed to this. Yeah, yeah. So I don't drink anymore. I don't drink until like, yeah, so that's what I've been up for a while. That's a big part of it. Yeah, it's a pretty hard process to so I don't know. It's three months away. Okay, playing with Fortnite, playing a bit of Spider-Man at the moment. I'm playing like story-based games on Sunday a lot of the time. So like I've just bought PS5, so I've just playing Spider-Man at the moment. most PlayStation games I think the last this is what I'm doing today. Right. Yo, how you doing? How you doing? You alright? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Good to hear, mate. You all outside? Hey, I'm sat in my living room. I feel bad. Like, is that a motorbike? Like, hey, what are those sirens about? What have you done? They're not for you, no? You're not going to get like fucking arrested or something like that on TikTok live right now. That's funny part. I don't know, mate, he was getting arrested by the looks of it.
Is that you doing that? Gingerbread, is that you? Alright, 5 more minutes, I'll be here. I'm a fucking way on. Come on. Oh, fucking hell, you can talk. Bloody hell.
Jesus. Yeah, so what's going on? What's everyone doing?
Well, I'm on a bloody break, waiting to bloody leave. Hit the road. So where are you from?
I'm from Portsmouth, mate, in England. What about you?
Nice, we're in England, but
Yeah, you're in Birmingham. Oh, mate, I do like that. Birmingham's decent, mate. I like Birmingham.
I'm in London at the moment. I'm on delivery.
Oh, nice. What are you delivering?
Hospitals.
Oh, it's fair. That's sick, man.
Just going to deliver in London hospital, so
Yeah.
I'm away now. Just on a break. I have to take a break as a truck driver.
Yeah. Yeah, legally, you got him. My dad's a lorry driver, so he does that.
Oh, okay.
He's a car transporter though, so like he goes and picks up cars and drops them off at docks and that.
That's fucking big money, that is.
Mate, it's good money and he fucking loves cars as well, so he's just like he's, huh?
Because I will not stay.
Am I gonna stay on?
Oh no, you know your dad. Does he stay in the truck as well overnight?
Yeah. He's away like 5 days a week, so he sleeps.
Away from home.
Yeah. The money's good though, he seems to like it.
It's about 6 grand a year.
No, my bro.
No.
You see,
Say my brother. Good.
yeah, good man. Totally. That's key. Have you seen how many people on your left?
That's right. It's like no one here.
What did you say?
No, just me. Nobody else.
You just see?
There's another one coming.
You're lying.
There's another one coming.
Say mom's left.
Where's that? What fuck is that there? There's one TikTok one. I don't you been on here?
What, today or in general?
No, I'm fucking new to this.
Yeah, I've been on it like, I don't know, like a year maybe.
I'm just starting my second day.
Yeah, how's it going?
I've always been watching, but I've never actually done a live.
Yeah.
First times it's alright.
Yeah, it's not the worst, man. You do get some haters on it, but it's just sort of part of it. Like,
I don't like that part.
yeah. You can just like it's easier said than done, but like just fucking ignore them, man. Because like one thing I've come to learn, if someone's writing a shitty comment on your TikTok, they're just having a shit day. Like it's got nothing to do with you, has it? Like,
I mean, I watch some people actually get depressed, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm a bit sad, you know what I mean? They come to enjoy themselves and they end up leaving with depression.
Yeah, it's not. It's a toxic. It's a toxic sort of environment, isn't it?
There's some people out there, they ain't got the balls to come online, but they got something to say.
That's all. It's always as well. You click on the profile, and it's not like a real profile. It's never like their real picture or anything like that. It's just like it's just cowardly, really. Isn't it?
No, right? I feel better.
Yeah.
What's going on here, man? What's going on, man? My magnet is loose. I mean, people try and catch me, but
Yeah.
I'm always.
Some people take it really seriously as well, don't they? They start like getting really angry when people haven't gifted them and that, and you just go, mate, it's ridiculous. It's a fucking app. Like,
Suddenly. Get the fuck off, man.
or welcome. If this is your first time with us, I'm Becca Scoops, and I'm bringing you a video today that you're not going to want to miss. Gypsy Rose has spoken out about her salacious videos, and we're going to bring you that, but we're going to bring you something else that a lot of people don't know about Gypsy Rose in this case, and it's her affinity for Charles Manson. Yeah, you got that right. Gypsy, way back then, was talking about Charles Manson. Facebook messages, and we have them for you. But before we get to that, I'd like to talk a little bit about what Gypsy's, you know how I do this, about what Gypsy is doing right now. So all of this has come out, and she's spoken out in a weird way, and I'll get to that. But first, I want to share a portion of Straight Outta Context's video because she's got the scoop on Gypsy Rose, what she's doing right now. So let me go ahead and bring that up. Here we go. Let's take a listen to a little bit of this.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is permanently deleting her TikTok, or so she says. She at the highest had 10.3 million followers on TikTok, and she's down to 9.2, with over 47% of that 9.2 million being fake bot accounts. They are inactive and they don't have the engagement that a real human controlling an account would. But oh, how convenient. It says your account can't be deleted because of payments and transactions. It states, withdraw your balance, repay bills or loans, and make sure that all transactions are completed before she's allowed to delete it. She says, will set to delete by my choice when I can. It quite literally tells you right below that to complete whatever payments or loans.
All right, let me get this straight. Is she doing this again? How many times have we seen her say she's deleting social media? She's going to throw away, well, even if half of them are bots, is she going to throw away 4 million followers? Seriously? I mean, what is this? What is this, like the victim status? Feel sorry for me. I'm going to delete my TikTok. Well, delete it then. I mean, you do this every other month, right? It's tiresome. Let's listen just a little bit more.
That you took out or had in order to complete the deletion, the permanent deletion. And if she loved her baby, she would do that. She would delete the TikTok and the Instagram and live a quiet, private life. But she's incapable. In 2024, mainstream media picked up that she did this, left social media, and came back several times. Even People Magazine, TMZ, they're already fed up and tired of covering Gypsy Rose Blanchard leaving social media and coming back because they haven't even covered 2025, which she's done this over 9.
I agree with Barb. They are done with this. And I want to thank Barb for this little take on it, just so we kind of know where she's at right now with threatening or putting out there she's going to do this. We also saw her weirdly over, she's going on Instagram with that woman. This is really weird with this woman, this woo-woo bestie woman that supposedly was threatening her. Obviously a plant for the series. They had to make up. I mean, think about this. Do I know this for a fact? No, but come on. She's over on Instagram with this woo bestie person. They're all chummy somewhere hanging out like they're 16-year-olds over the weekend. And this is the woman that she called the cops on during her series that was supposedly physically threatening her. Now they're best friends. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up, right? You just cannot make this stuff up. Okay, so that's what's going on with Gypsy Rose. Oh, and what happened to her podcast? It was supposed to debut September 17th, I'm pretty sure. Well, what time is it? Yeah, December 22nd right now. December 22nd. So, where is it? Where is the Survivors podcast? The felon or the mommy murderer discusses things with actual victims. Is that what's going to go on? So the perpetrator will now be discussing healing with victims.
Hold on, let me show you the range. Let's go.
I don't usually go looking for trouble. Trouble usually finds me. I can't wait to get started. This is how.
With victims. I don't know. Let's get to the Charles Manson stuff. Okay, so NPG Cornerstone, which many of you know is the YouTube channel that is representing Nicholas Godejohn on social media. Okay. And they put this stuff out that they had. They have a lot of the records that nobody has, obviously. So I wanted to go over this Charles Manson thing because it's very interesting that 2 weeks before the murder, Gypsy was comparing Nicholas Godejohn to Charles Manson. All right, let me get to this. All right. Here it says that allegedly, under a recent post, they call her the Shrew Gypsy, left a comment saying, if I was curious about a case, which I'm not really into true crime. So they're calling her a liar. This is something she posted. I'm not sure how long ago. This is like something she posted recently within the last several months. Okay, so since she's been out of prison. Okay. When Nick heard that behind bars, he shouted liar. Why? Because he knows she's been obsessed with Charles Manson for years. He knows she studied him. He sang, he painted, he had a loyal cult following. And you're going to see this cult following is something Gypsy kind of has developed today. We're going to get in a little bit of that also. Over here, most people are aware of the video mentioning court transcripts where she compared Nick to Charlie Manson, and it really angered him. This is from an excerpt from the court transcripts. Okay, guys? It says, answer, she was way more sophisticated than he is psychologically. Question, I get that, but I'm asking you what specifically you saw that supports that statement. And the answer is, okay, let me think about that. There are videos that Nick made called Exploring More Feeling. And I think there's a series of them, 1, 2, and 3, and he's really upset. And she compares him to Charles Manson and compares him to being a serial killer and questions his loyalty and makes statements about his former girlfriend, such that he cannot refer to his girlfriend by her name. And I think she was toying with him a lot of times, manipulating him and toying with him in that way. And that's what I meant by that, playing with him. The next one. Exploring More Feeling 1/9/14. So this must be the video that they're referring to. Nick, angry because Gypsy compared him to a serial killer. I never really had much of a mother and father. This is what's said in the video. In my life, learned to walk by himself. Gypsy compared him to Charles Manson. He said he researched who he was. Nick becomes angry. Don't do that ever again. I'm nothing like him. So here in this video, Nick is upset that she compared him to someone that is completely out of character from him. He gets very angry with her regarding her comparing him to Charles Manson. Nick saw a documentary on him and then researched him to see the whole story. Quote, don't ever compare me to him again. Exclamation point. That pisses me off. Exclamation point. Seriously, dear, don't do that ever again. I am nowhere anything like him. So that's something that's in one of these videos. Possibly that's something that we're going to be seeing in the coming weeks. But we know that this is in one of these videos because this is from NPG Cornerstone. Okay. Now, let's get into these Facebook messages that Gypsy sent a male friend about Charles Manson on May 26, 2015. May 26, 2015. This is around 2 weeks before the murder. Status, Gypsy. Oh my, OMG, Charles Manson has a Facebook. WTF. Super excited. She's excited. Charlie Manson has a Facebook. She sends it to this guy. It's from the Nicholas Bellarosa account, and she writes, Gypsy writes, oh my God, I thought Charlie Manson was dead long ago, but I'm thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer, and she spells it Dahmer, Dahma. And I'm going to show you the video during her interrogation, the clip, where she refers to Nick as Jeffrey Dahmer. Of course, we know it's Jeffrey Dahmer. She goes on to say, damn, has it ever occurred to anyone while thousands of our men and women die and are killed every day in the war, yet we remember the first and last name of psychos? Well, isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting that there's something about serial killers, right? People that kill, people that murder. And no, Gypsy's not a serial killer. She's a mommy murderer. So a lot of people consider that even worse than some serial killers, right? But because you're murdering your own mother is one of the most, besides your kids, unnatural acts any human being could take, right? To murder the person who gave you life. And anyways, her, according to them, and according to court transcripts, she's pretty enamored with Charles Manson. And there's one more.
The weather conditions up here are more extreme than other places. So we have
Charles Manson. And there's one more thing here. Another message from her, from the Nicholas Bellarosa account. She says, now they are making a mini-series of Charles Manson, and the actor playing him, well, he's good looking. So they are giving a hot face to a brutal killer. And it says here, in just 15 days, she knows exactly what she's planned, groomed and set in motion, manipulating it all, just like the man she mentioned, yes, yet claims she's not really into true crime. Well, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Well, do you remember during the interrogation? Why this matters is because at that point, she had already planned it. She compared Nick, or tried to get Nick to go with the comparison. You're just like Charlie Manson. And yeah, Nick may be level 2 autistic, and he may have a low IQ, but you know what? When he looked into that shit, he said, no, I'm not, and became very angry. But still, it was on Gypsy's mind during the interrogation, wasn't it? It was on her mind. Let's take a look at this clip.
Still love you. Don't let them down. Don't do that to them. Because everyone will still love you. Let's not do that to them. I don't want to do that to them.
I honestly never hurt my mom, but
But why did Nick hurt her?
So she says, I honestly would never hurt my mom. And he says, why did Nick hurt her?
That's trying to be truthful, sweetheart. No more lies.
the only reason I didn't make him is because he wanted me to himself.
Okay.
Because my mom kept getting in the way of us being together.
Sure she did. She didn't mind Nick. She didn't want her little baby girl to grow up. She wanted to keep her little bit really young, didn't she?
She said that there was something dangerous about him. She had a way of reading people.
Okay.
And she said that he seems like the head in the closet type of person. The kind that murders and kills. Like Jeffrey Dahmer kind of person.
Think your mom
A Jeffrey Dahmer kind of person?
was right. Get out of your mom was right. You hear about him in day one.
So there's that. So obviously, guys, this is something that was on her mind. These serial killers, Charlie Manson. She mentions Jeffrey Dahmer, the same way she pronounces it in the interrogation, by the way. And so, yeah, this matters. This matters. This shows her sophistication and her manipulation and what was on her mind. And again, suggesting to Nicholas, go to John, that he was like Charles Manson. But no, she's not into true crime, right? She's not into true crime. All right. Let's get to a few other things here that I want to show you guys about she's speaking out. So, like in the beginning of this video, I showed you Gypsy now has spoken out about the salacious videos, especially the one that is making everyone talk. And let's bring up that clip of her response. By the way, in my description box, I'm going to have the link of the woman who got this TikTok account. I mean, here's what happened. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So, portions of this was before the salacious video came out. Gypsy contacted this woman on TikTok. I think it's Zombie Mom, something like that. It'll be in the description box. Through TikTok, Gypsy was leaving her audio messages. That's what you're going to listen to right now. This audio messages was sent in November, prior to the videos coming out. All right.
Talked about rape nonstop, like justifies. I'm not saying that I wasn't abused. I'm just saying that nothing justifies murder. Like, the thing that I hate the most is this, I'm sure you've heard of the whole V-card 13-year-old daughter thing. Okay, in those messages has him saying, make this video, say this stuff, that it came from him. And I'll admit, I made the video. Like, I pacified him knowing that I would never do any of that stuff. I mean, he talked about rape nonstop, like, and that's where I'm coming from with it, is like, and then they're going to read how Nick was like, you know what, never mind, that was just Victor. Nick would never do that. I love you. I'm the only one that's ever gonna love you. You're my soulmate. But Victor really wants you to make this video, unless he'll get very mad. And
okay, so again, here's what she does. Classic Gypsy Rose Blanchard blaming Nick. I ask you, let's go there. Let's say Nick did tell her to do it. Could anyone make you do it? Could anyone make you say, and the way she says it, right? We'll bring up that clip in a minute, just a really short clip, because you have her effect. I'm sure most of you have seen it. But her effect, like talking like she's going to go to the Walmart and buy some milk. You know what? And when our daughter turned 13, her effect is not troubled by making these statements. So I don't care if the King of Sheba told you to make those statements. There's no way I could make those statements. Right, let's go on. So let's say Nick did it. Let's say Nick was just, you know what, you're going to get on that video and you're going to say, I'm going to take our daughter's virginity. Excuse me? That's not an excuse. But you go ahead if that's the only excuse you can come up with.
And I was so into him, where like I did whatever he asked.
What woman, even if this is a fictitious child for the future, what mother, you tell me, could even contemplate that? I'm sorry, there's one thing you don't touch. You don't touch my kids. You don't ever touch my kids. I don't care who the fuck you are.
Calling all little heroes. Unleash your superpowers with a brand new...
I know that's how I feel. It's just innate in me. You can't get me to say anything like that, let alone contemplate anything like that. But, oh, you were so into him. That's, wow, now I get it. Now I understand.
And granted, it was just like videos and conversations, but like I'm being called a pedophile for his fantasy that I would have never acted on and dumped him over.
You know what, girlfriend? You had some pretty crazy fantasies yourself. You were talking about rape. I know her story. He said he told me to say all that. So I had to say it. Look, how do you have a relationship if the core sexual stuff between you repulses you? If it truly repulsed you, how would you be so into him? I don't buy it. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense.
But I did pacify him by making a video saying exactly what he wanted me to say. And that's something that I want to clear my name. People need to understand.
Clear your name? Clear your name? Explain to... Own it. Own it. We all know you're lying again. That's what gets people upset. More than even not. The whole situation is super, super disgusting and troubling. But here we go again with the excuses.
And that if I was obedient enough to stay in a goddamn wheelchair most of my life, of course I'm going to show that same obedience to Nick. I mean, it's just, I can't excuse what I've done. I can't excuse the conversations
Oh, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
or the things that I've said, but I'm not that same person anymore. Like,
You are exactly that same person.
God knows it was a very dark time in my life, and I had absolutely no maturity whatsoever. You know, people always want to be like, well, Nick was, autistic.
That's becoming another one of her major excuses is I was only like a 13-year-old. I wasn't mature. Well, you were pretty mature. You were pretty street smart. Yeah, we're not buying that one either.
Or Asperger's. Well, I didn't have much maturity beyond, horny 12-year-old.
A horny 12-year-old yourself. I don't know anyone that describes a 12-year-old as horny. But then again, here we got another Freudian slip from Ms. Blanchard. That's not all. That's not all. She also spoke out. Now, after the videos have come out, she speaks out about them again. Let me get that.
I'm not proud of those videos. I know I am willing to swear on my daughter's life and God that he instructed me to make that video.
Yeah, Sammy doesn't mean that much in Gypsy, does it?
There's so much context as to what those videos were made for and everything. It's really hard for both me and Ken to be called pedophiles whenever we never harmed any child ever in our life.
Being a pedophile is not just harming children. It's the thought, the attraction, the whole part of it, right? What she had talked about. That's being a pedophile also. It's not just, you have to have done an action. It's that's what you like. Somehow this is part of your sexual makeup, it seems.
We are good parents. Honestly, even in prison, pedophiles are the worst. Even below murderers, like that's the hierarchy, and it's disgusting to be labeled something like that whenever we're not. And yet praise Nick, who is like that.
I don't know anyone that's praising Nick. I don't know anyone that's praised Nick. If anything, people have just explained his situation, right? Explained it.
It's so upsetting. Okay, so I didn't really watch all of the video, but from what I can tell, and number one, I don't even remember making that video, by the way. But the thing is, watching that, I'm like,
yeah, that's the other excuse, right? She did this with her memoir, right? I don't even remember that. I don't remember. Did I say that? No, I don't think that's right. I think we need to revise that. I don't have memories from then.
what are you talking about? Because I didn't have a seizure for real, but I didn't know that. What I was going off of was what my mom would tell people of what I
on to a different topic here, and now people warned me she's going to backtrack on that seizure thing, and I kind of thought, yeah, she probably will because she's going to have to because none of it makes sense. So now she's talking about a different video, not the V card video with the daughter, but this one is where she tells Nick she can walk, and then she goes into this story about when she was 6 years old, she had a seizure, and that she lied to her mom for many years that she couldn't walk, and that her mom didn't know, and none of that made sense. I said that on the record. I said, look, the details of what she's saying here does not make sense. I'm not buying it, so I am on the record saying that. But okay, so now she's going to go backtrack on this. I had a seizure when I was 6, and I was paralyzed. Now she's saying that is not true. Now she's saying that story is.
It means that fresh oral. I change my brush head every 3 months to say fresh all year round. So don't forget to change yours.
Not true.
Because I didn't have a seizure for real, but I didn't know that. What I was going off of was what my mom would tell people of why I couldn't walk. And so whenever I was explaining to him, so I had a seizure when I was 6. Number one, I wasn't 6 when I was in the wheelchair, that I got in the wheelchair, so that was wrong. So I don't even know why I said that. I was confused about the ages. I didn't even know my own real age, so that makes no sense. But basically, my mom was telling people if she had a seizure, when she was on the operating table, when she was young, that caused her to be paralyzed. Then later on, it became, she has a pharynx in her spine, that's why she can't walk. Her story changed along with it. What I told people changed as well. So what I was trying to convey in that message to Nick was, I'm being complacent with my mom.
No, what you conveyed to Nick in that is that why didn't you say that to him if that was the truth? What you conveyed to him was when I was 6, I was on an operating table and I had a seizure. And I said, I don't think so. But I said, okay, let's listen to the rest of it. And now she's saying, but that's what she said to Nick. So yes, that is what you said to Nick. Why did you lie to him then? Why all the lies? I am not a stupid person, and at this point, I can't even keep them straight. Okay? I need to write them all down. Seriously.
Telling her what she wants to hear, but this is the truth. I can walk, but it's I'm not doing a good job at explaining. Later on, it became, she has a pharynx in her spine, that's why she can't walk. Her story changed along with it. What I told people changed as well. So what I was trying to convey in that message to Nick was, I'm being complacent with my mom. I'm telling her what she wants to hear, but this is the truth. I can walk, but it's I'm not doing a good job at explaining that. Basically I'm trying to explain to him, every time I bring it up to my mom, she gets mad at me, and I get punished. So I'm telling her what she wants to hear, so I can have at least a little bit of some normalcy in my life.
I don't understand any of it at this point, okay? I am lost. Okay, here's what I think the truth is, all right? I don't believe she had a seizure at 6 years old. It doesn't track. She wasn't in the wheelchair at 6, all of those things. No, I don't believe that.
She's just a compulsive liar.
I think most of the witnesses say after she was in this motorcycle wreck with her grandfather around 7 or 8, that's when all of these different independent people say they saw her in the wheelchair. Okay, it was from that incident. They relate it to that incident. So these are the people. It's more than one. It's it's many people that relate the same incident. Okay, so we know that. She's saying that her mother would make up these stories about why she could walk. Okay. But she did totally lie to Nick and make up this story. So here's the question. Did she have a lot of muscle weakness and problems walking from the microdeletion as a kid? I think probably yes, there is some truth to that, okay? Could she walk all the time? Of course she could. Yeah, of course she could. Now, the question becomes, was her mother mandating she stay in that wheelchair? We also know this, though. Her mother did report to doctors that she was paralyzed, and we know that's not true. Okay? We have to be totally honest with everything that's going on here to get to the truth. All right? So I'm going to leave it at that for right now because it is a very complicated situation now. We've got so many competing stories, but we do know some facts. Fact, at 6 years old, she was not in a wheelchair. Fact, independent witnesses say, and news reports, that she was first placed in the wheelchair around 7 or 8 after a motorcycle accident with her grandfather. All right? So those are the things we know. Fact, Dee Dee told doctors she was paralyzed. Fact. All right? And the rest of it, I'm going to contemplate over the Christmas holiday, and I will get back to you on that. But we're dealing with a pathological liar here, and that's the problem. All right? That's the problem. Okay, now, you've heard what she said about this, the V-card story, right? Except she talks about it in more than one place. We know the one video where she talks about it. We're bringing it up real quick. We know she talks about it here. And this one.
When I became a dad, I realized I can't just keep ignoring my pension because it wasn't just my future anymore. Like most people, I had a bunch of pensions scattered from old jobs and I had no idea where the documents were. It felt like there was money locked away that I couldn't even access. Sorting all out felt overwhelming until I found Pension Day. In just a few minutes, they started to combine my old pension policy into one new online plan. No more chasing paperwork or jumping logins, just an easy-to-use app that showed me exactly what I had. I thought it wouldn't be much, but seeing everything in one place, I had a lot more than I expected. And the pension calculator, it's helped me see what I need to put away to retire, how and when I do.
Here. And this one.
A lot of explanations or whatever, but that's all she saw was that I was the seductress mother and your queen and your slave, right? I had this vision, well, Gypsy had this vision about, and after we get married,
Here it is.
we're gonna try to start right away, I hope. And the plan will protect our children from the outside world because they can't know about us. They can't know about you being a vampire. We're gonna protect them and keep them educated on what not to say in front of people, and make sure that they understand the severity of keeping them a secret. And if we have a girl, the way it has to be is if we have a girl, she has to lose her virginity to you because you are the master of the household. So I'm gonna have to explain that to her.
She's talking like she's making a list to go to Walmart. Okay? There's not a lot of trouble. Her effect is not troubled. She's not upset. Nothing like that. Okay. But there's a couple other places where she refers to this. Not exactly in these terms, but this mother seductress. We got to be careful because of our lifestyle. We don't want our daughter bringing the police to our door.
Both of you want me to be in tragedy, and I don't want that to happen. So we need to be vigilant and teach our children to keep our family secret in just our own home and in our own family. And I will live up to the expectations that say, arrest you or something like that for our way of living. That's my biggest fear, is that our way of living gets public and both of us get arrested, and then our whole fairy tale just ends in tragedy. And I don't want that to happen. So we need to be vigilant and teach our children to keep our family secret in just our own home and in our own family. And I will live up to the expectations that you have me to be this doctor's mother, and I will bear your children, and whenever they come of age, we can both talk to them about how our family is, and how it's different from other families because that was worrying me a lot. Because, our daughter to come home and the police come with her and say, arrest you or something like that for our way of living. That's my biggest fear is that.
Strength. And I don't want our daughter to come home. Let me turn it up just a little bit.
Different from other families because that was worrying me a lot. Because, our daughter to come home and the police come with her and say, arrest you or something like that for our way of living. That's my biggest fear is that our way of living gets public and both of us get arrested and then, our whole fairy tale just ends in tragedy.
Does that sound like someone that's being coerced? This sounds like the planning. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, how she's a huge planner and she thinks ahead about things and all of that. Why isn't she putting a kibosh on all this craziness? Why is she not putting a kibosh on it? Why is this not a total, no, we can't have this relationship if you're going to think like this? Why would she want to have a relationship with someone who thinks like that? Because that's what she's claiming, right? That this is all him. This disgusts her. She would never even think of anything like this, but she just had to do it. She had to say it. She had to make videos about it. All right, there's one more clip. Not as convincing as the last one, but still, it does touch a little bit.
I vow to be the woman who mute my vow video. I vow to be honest, loyal, truthful, obedient, responsible, because it is my responsibility as the most important woman in the house, as the...
She looks ridiculous in that wig. I know I shouldn't say things like that, but she does. I mean, what is that?
The instructor's mother. I vow to be patient, kind, understanding. I vow to be yours in every way, mind, body, soul, spirit, in life, as well as death. I vow to keep our family safe from outsiders who would not understand our ways. I vow to be the woman that you dream about.
So I vow to keep our family secrets from outsiders who would not understand our ways. So now you have 3 videos. You have 3 video clips that are basically touching on the same theme. What's the theme? Family secrets. What's the secret? They're vampires, or he's a vampire, and they're doing weird things with their kids. That's the secret. And she specifically mentions the daughter bringing the police to the door. Why would the police come to the door?
Wait a minute, why they in the village? Wait a minute, they thought I was finished. Wait a minute, let's get back to business. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Well, there's no such thing as vampires, right? So why would the police come to the door? That's my question. I'd like an answer, please. In your next little secret TikTok messaging some people. You come out, you get, you get on your social media and either go away, delete them all, or make an explanation. Tell us, or admit, just admit the truth. That would be nice. It would be nice, but this running and hiding and leaving little, messages for people, just, what is that? What is that? I thought you were a public figure. I thought you were an author. I thought you were an influencer now and an advocate. Where are you? Where did you go? All right. So there is that. Now, I want to get into this question about her, cults, right? What are cults? And I want to get into that and show you guys some examples and some clips of how Gypsy might be just kind of like a cult leader. Well, when we talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a lot of people call the people that follow her a cult or her minions or whatever. And I find that kind of interesting, right? Because I've been watching for the last almost 2 years now the behavior of these people that she surrounds herself with, mostly these parasocial relationships. And you know what's really interesting, and I'm going to start with this, that the people in Gypsy's cult or whatever, they get branded, right? They get tattoos. I want to show you a few. And when I get to Ryan Anderson, it's going to be really interesting. But here we go. Here is Christy and Gypsy, who have matching tattoos. Matching tattoos, right? Interesting, weird, kind of weird. I don't know. All right. What else? Well, her and Kat also got matching tattoos. And what about Ryan Anderson? Well, he got a tattoo for Gypsy also. And let's take a listen. There is a video clip of Ryan talking about this.
That's it. Thank you, Katie, for that. I love it. Pixie wants to be in the live. But yeah, that's the tattoo. It meant a lot when I got it at the time. Spill the tea. I got a lot of tea, actually. I know a lot, but that isn't the only ex she's ever kept in touch with, by the way, just for the record. Yeah, just so y'all know, that's not the only ex.
So he shows the tattoo, this loyalty, love, or right. It's not unusual in itself, but when you consider the amount of people who are in Gypsy Rose Blanchard's circle who get tattoos, either matching tattoos with her or a tattoo for her. All right, and this is Ryan. And what do we know now? Ryan, this was back in June when he specifically announced this live where he was going to quote spill some tea, right? But first he shows off the tattoo, which is a reminder of like this cult-like relationship, right? This weird. I think it's weird because he, to this day, will not really say anything against her. Not really. Here's what he said back then. This was one of the parts of spilling some big tea, I guess.
Kim was not the only ex, but we were so happy first month. Like, there was no issues, like, at all. Like, we were learning to live with each other, and it was great. And we enjoyed it. And then things got in the way. Y'all saw one of the phone calls that, like, Gypsy, like she said in the thing, she knew if we thought Ken was single. Like, who says that?
Well, Gypsy, of course. Don't you know? Of course, in another live stream, recent live stream, after the videos came out, Ryan Anderson actually said, "I don't know that girl," referring to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Well, of course, you don't know her. That's the whole point. So why are you staying loyal to someone like this? She duped you, manipulated you, and used you. And yet, you don't really fully blame her for your breakup. You blame Christy.
Like, who really says that? Somebody keeps asking me, would I take Gypsy back? Probably not. Like,
yeah, you would.
She did too much. She did too much damage. Like, it is what it is. No. Can we see the tattoo? Yeah, y'all can see the tattoo. There's the tattoo.
All right, so there's his tattoo, right? His brand. He was branded or branded himself, right? Knowingly did. I'm not saying every tattoo is wrong or anything. Not at all. Not at all. It's weird though, right? It's weird because these aren't the only people that have tattoos that have something to do with Gypsy Rose Blanchard's inner circle. We also have, let me bring this up, these people that are part of her group that they call them, this is so bizarre. Can't even believe I'm talking about this, but it's just bizarre. So this was at Jazz Fest, and see where it says FBI? This is referring to Gypsy's best friend or lieutenant, Bree. And here's Bree giving herself tears, which we know in prison life, pretty sure the tears have to do with either the number of people you killed or the amount of time you have to stay in prison. Whatever it means, it is, these tears are prison, have to do with being in like a felon, like someone that's locked up for a long time, or possibly someone that did a murder. Okay, so FBI has to do with her. This is what they call themselves. And then they went ahead and got tattoos. This is, okay, that lady named Big Sheena Bigham. Her tattoo down there, you see under the fleur de lis, you can see it says Brie right there. I mean, you guys. Getting a tattoo about some weird little Facebook, or not Facebook, TikTok group you're in? Some strange little mommy murder cult you're in? You're an adult? You're not in your 20s or teens when you do crazy, stupid things? Very cultish, right? Very cultish-like behavior. So I guess Bree has one. This Big Sheena has one. And so I wanted to look into that. I did a little research on that, about these tattoos and branding and stuff like that. And then I'm going to bring you a comment that someone made, which was brilliant about this whole thing. So, symbol of belonging. The primary psychological function of matching tattoos in a group context is to solidify membership and commitment. The permanent mark acts as a physical declaration of allegiance to the group's shared journey and beliefs. Psychological impact for members, the process can release endorphins. Isn't that interesting? And adrenaline, reinforcing the bond and making the experience feel positive. You hear that? Feel positive. However, the commitment can make leaving the group more difficult. No kidding. As the tattoo is a constant public reminder of past involvement. Potential for misinterpretation. The design of the tattoo can sometimes be mistaken for other symbols, including hate symbols. Let's go to the next one. Reclaiming identity. For individuals who later leave, and this is called a high control group. A cult is like a high control group. And I'd say loosely, these people that are surrounded, that Gypsy surrounds herself with, are in this type of high control group. That the tattoo may become a source of discomfort if they try to leave, right? Many former members chose to get the tattoo covered up or removed as a way of reclaiming their personal identity and signifying their separation from the past. Well, we have some behaviors, some clips of some behaviors to go along with this notion that they're a little bit culty over there in the Gypsy camp, right? They're a little bit culty. So first off, this loyal allegiance, this crazy loyal allegiance. Let's listen to this one clip. And thanks to the people who sent me these.
Because there's this narrative out there that I'm just such this horrible person.
This is the main Lieutenant Bree, also known as Gypsy's official spokesperson.
And then they're like, Bree, I didn't realize that you were so nice. And I'm like, I feel like you should be able to see that through all the bullshit, but sometimes it's really hard when you're surrounded by people who are so full of hate for someone, and it can really rub off on you. People are not fucking actually. Somebody that might be this lot right now used to be on that side, but they still anti-Gypsy. But guess what? They fucking love me so much that we're friends.
It says Bree spirals for more than 40 minutes, yet not one of her friends, in quotes, try to calm her down or de-escalate the situation.
Now, they just love me because they think I'm so fucking funny. So trust me, sweetheart, I get more views than you even think. They showing up right here because they watching from the back because they know their ass is gonna get blocked when they come in because they pieces of shit. But go on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok and type in Bree with the facts or anything like that. You're gonna find me, sweetheart. So you can get the fuck because y'all are annoying. Why don't you just tell them the truth right now? Why don't you get up on a panel? Oh no, you won't, huh? You're an OCP. So please let me get rid of them. I've had it with. Let's see if they're gonna come up. I have to actually. Okay, come up on a panel. Oh, I'm just gonna get up on the phone.
This is all about defending Gypsy. I mean, are you guys following this? A little bit culty.
Get a panel. Get on a panel. If you think I'm scared, oh, somebody's scared because he's not coming up. It's not. I'm scared. Bitch, I ain't never scared. Sweetheart, I've been knowing the truth before I was her friend. That's why she is my friend, bitch. Because she saw somebody on the internet who had a fucking brain of their own. Anyways, you still didn't answer my question. Your scary ass still ain't on my panel. Figures, because you're a punk ass bitch. That's why. Because you're a punk ass bitch. You're a punk ass bitch. Somebody, I'm scared, bitch. I'm talking. I put my face on you and everything. Somebody, I'm scared. That's why you just walk here and tell me the truth. She literally probably talks smack about you. Oh my god. You still didn't answer my question because you're scared. Because you're scared. Because you're scared. You meet me at the panel. How about that? Meet me on my panel. How about that? How about that? You got about 1 minute or I'm going to kick you out.
As you know, the official spokesperson.
Exactly. Fuck shit about Gypsy. And I really don't give a fuck what you think about. Come on, wait, you little chicken. Get up here. You're scared. Look at you, scary ass. Can't even come on a panel. Somebody, I'm scared. You can't come up here? Because you fucking scared? I ain't never giving no bitch ass like you my email. You got me fucked up. What? You see, that's how I know that you know nothing about this.
That's a young person. That's a very young, immature doofus.
Can I get rid of him? I got rid of him.
Yes,
Okay.
she just said gone, pecan.
Yeah, a little bit culty, a little bit. Leave a comment. Then we all remember, and I started this video out talking about this woman, this woo-woo bestie, the Ivory Rose Wild woman. If you're new to the case, I know this is probably all great. If you're new here, you must be just going, what the hell is going on here, right? Well, these are these people that are in Gypsy's cult. I guess that's the only way I can call it, right? I mean, you don't lose your mind over things unless you're not brainwashed in a cult. I mean, you're losing your mind. So, before Woo Bestie became Gypsy's new bestie, which she is now, she was hated by the cult members. And here is, I believe it's also the Lieutenant Bree, the official spokesperson, threatening Woo Bestie.
Stupid ass bitch. I bet you won't call me, you know. Fucking cunt. Cross the ass, what is it? Hold on. Let me pull it up. This bitch really got me fucked up. Like, if I was this bitch in person, I hope my boy gets us to ass. Yep, that's what I said. And I sure the fuck would.
Okay.
And that's a fucking. That's the reality of what I would do. Because this bitch got me fucked up. Stupid ass. Looking like a whole baked potato. Feel like fancy.
But don't cyberbully. We're against cyberbullying over on the Gypsy camp, right? We don't cyberbully anybody. Official spokesperson. All right.
Fucking cunt. Cross the ass, what is it? Hold on. Let me pull it up. This bitch really got me fucked up. Like, if I was on this bitch in person and I host my podcast, I swear I'll smash her fucking face to the ground.
That's a threat. It's a threat. So now we're so worked up over. So if you don't agree with Gypsy Rose Blanchard or you criticize her in any way about the case, about what you feel about it, this is what you have in store for you. It seems like the cult, it's a cult, right? It's this is crazy talk, right? In fact, one of the other newer cult members, the Big Sheena, she actually, remember I was talking about Charles Manson earlier? She actually said in a comment that she, and I'm reading this, Rusty says, and I bet you think Charles Manson was just misunderstood. And Sheena says, yes, I do. Now, possibly sarcastic statement, but still, these people are supposedly her closest friends, all parasocial relationships. They see each other in person now because they're in the cult and they have matching tattoos and all that. But yeah, it's concerning, right? It's concerning. All right. What else do I have for you? Well, there was the time that Bree actually told Gypsy to lie to her parole officer, right? Let's bring that up.
It's about, I mean, if they did hear it, but lie about something. Because people keep this girl that she knows, Amelia, the one that's in prison, like her girlfriend or whatever she is supposedly supposed to want more and reveal like some secrets that from Gypsy, and she's never said one day, which I don't think them alive, but that fucking stupid ass had started it, and I wasn't even thinking, and just please make sure, like, I don't know how to edit it out, so I'm just trusting you. I mean, I know you're not going to put it out there. I mean, it doesn't say what the context is about, but it talks about, like, she'll hear it. I just can't believe I did that. Anyways, just.
So she's admitting to doing something here. Here's the follow-up clip.
Level 1 hurdle jump. The game begins. High leap over puddle. Dodge sharp flag. Get past little rough. These shoes handle it all. Next stage. Sprint mode. I'm flying forward and my feet don't even feel tired. Then comes the final reward screen. Leather shoes for 0 pounds. Yeah, I just unlocked the ultimate new user price. Only for new app users with qualifying orders in 24 hours. Terms and conditions apply. Download the Tumble app from this page to join the promotion. The offer is valid for 24 hours for new app users with qualifying orders on the promotion page. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's the follow-up clip.
Fate will be decided tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully.
So they didn't know they were being recorded. Many of you know about this, but for the new people, they didn't know. Bree, the official spokesperson, and Gypsy didn't know that they were being recorded here. It was accidentally recorded, I believe, by Bree, the official spokesperson.
Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they need, I mean, I don't know, I feel like they should have to need proof. Like, they can't just use a text. I feel like not even text message. They should have been, like, I don't know, somebody could have got hold of your phone, like, I don't know, something. Like, because people can use, there's, like, all kind of crazy phone apps and everything, girl. There's phone apps that can actually send you message, that you can, okay, so there's phone apps where you can type in, you can type in, like, your number. Say somebody can download this app, type in your phone number, and then send a text to someone, and it'll show that it's coming from your phone, even though it's not.
Wow.
Yes, that's why I feel like.
And you know what? This was so long ago, I even forget the context of this, but I think what basically Bree's telling her to lie to the parole officer by saying whatever message Gypsy sent via the phone or something, that somebody hacked into Gypsy's phone and sent this message, and it wasn't Gypsy. I don't know if it was Gypsy was contacting another felon or whatever it was, but Gypsy was very nervous about meeting with the parole officer, and Bree is giving her advice. Well, here, you can lie. You can lie to the parole officer by saying your phone got hacked.
And there's no way they can send you back to prison on this. Like, I would even bring up that, but like, I absolutely would never, like, I would be like, I would lie. I would say, absolutely didn't. And be like, they're prison on this. Like, I would even bring up that, but like, I absolutely would never, like, I would be like, I would lie.
I would lie.
I would say, absolutely didn't. And be like, there has to be a way that this text message was like,
that's it. What's up,
or whatever. Like, I don't know. I would just fight for you, like, girl, because there are all ways. That's the reason I feel like at the end of the day, like, they would have to prove it, because there are all ways for people to do that. There are actual apps. There are real apps that will show it's your phone number, even though it's not.
And instead of Gypsy saying, no, I don't think it's good for me to lie to the parole officer, Gypsy's all ears, right? Because she's a career criminal. She's a career criminal. So, of course, this is normal. Of course, getting this information from your first lieutenant cult member, you know, the person you go to, your official spokesperson, of course it's normal. You just lie. You just lie to the parole officer. Why not?
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yes, that's why I feel like there's no way they can send you back to prison on this. Like, I would even bring up that, but like, I absolutely would never, like, I would be like, I would lie. I would say, absolutely didn't. And be like, there has to be a way that this text message was like falsified or whatever. I don't know. I would just fight for you, like, girl, because there are all ways. That's the reason I feel like at the end of the day, like, they would have to prove it, because there are all ways for people to do that. There are actual apps. There are real apps that will show it's your phone number, even though it's not. Oh, shit.
Okay. So a little bit culty, a little bit cultish. I mean, I have even more clips, but I don't. I think you guys get the message. It's not. This is not to make fun of anyone. This is not to disparage anyone. It is just to show you a pattern of behavior. You know, with the branding of the tattoos, the behavior online. So I'm going to bring up this comment that someone made that I thought was brilliant. Somebody that has observed this situation for a long time. They want to stay anonymous, though. And this person says, but when you look at it objectively, it looks and walks and talks like a cult. They have a hierarchy with Gypsy as their idol. Bree is a top dog. Then there is the second tier of trusted lieutenants like Sheena, and I blurted out some other names there. They're branded themselves and created this identity. They've created this network with inner secret circles. They've created a them versus us ideology. Anyone who leaves is attacked and discredited, and she gives a couple other people's names that were left, kind of their group, and they went out and they did. I don't know as much about this as other people, but I've been sent a lot of information about the way they just are trying to annihilate people online if they leave their cult. They only accept absolute loyalty. No one's allowed to question anything without being attacked. Even if they did have doubts about probably what they're talking about, right? You know, about Gypsy. If they had doubts or a different opinion about some point, even if they did have doubts, they're too afraid to voice them. And out come Bree to spin it into something acceptable to convince them. To convince them. They infiltrate any group that goes against their leader. They'll use all manner of tactics to disrupt it, whether it be personal attacks, trolling, threats, or love bombing individuals to recruit them basically to their side. And she named some other smaller content creators. And the top dogs get branded with tattoos. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think about any of this that I've covered in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That is the up-to-date information thus far. We are going to take a little holiday break. I would like to wish everybody, I mean, would have been around 8 years old. 36 pounds at 8 years old is not good, okay? Then it goes on to the present weight of 57 pounds. So then it talks about the nutrition, okay, that they say that she's been on this Pediasure, the supplemental feedings through the G-tube has increased her weight. All right, what other piece of evidence do we have? All right, we also know that she was in what's called a feeding hospital, okay? And here is a letter about that. A feeding hospital is not, first off, a feeding hospital is not a separate hospital. A feeding hospital is a multidisciplinary team within a already big medical center. And so she was in there for approximately a month before she got her G-tube. So before they placed her G-tube, they put her in the feeding hospital to see if they could do anything else but put a G-tube in, right, to help her weight increase from that 36 pounds. Follow me? All right, so a whole month in the hospital with this feeding team. Now, here is a letter. This is a letter from a doctor about this letter is in reply to your request for a summary statement on Gypsy Rose Blanchard regarding her application for disability benefits. This is a doctor who is writing a letter for her to get on disability. Now, if you go down here, where it says Gypsy, wait, hold on. Let's just read the whole thing. Gypsy is a 9-year-old female for whom I cared for since June 2000. Gypsy has a history of developmental delay, impaired vision and hearing, microcephaly. That is a confirmed diagnosis. She was born with microcephaly. She did have impaired vision. Gypsy has already admitted to impaired vision and microcephaly, and seizure disorder with a history of gastroesophageal reflux disorder, also called GERD, and severe, and listen to this, please, severe feeding aversion. It goes on. Gypsy is so fearful of eating that we had to place a percutaneous, I can never say that word, endoscopic peg tube for nutritional purposes. Prior to the peg placement, Gypsy had, listen to this, Gypsy had undergone intensive evaluation and attempted treatment for her feeding aversions by the feeding hospital. She was not able to consume enough calories by mouth to ensure her survival. In addition to her other impairments, Gypsy is a very anxious child, sincerely yours, and then the doctor signs it. Okay. So, in summary, and I have a few other pieces of evidence. In summary, at around 7, 8, 9 years old, Gypsy weighed 36 pounds. Year 2000, 36 pounds. Okay? Not a good weight to sustain life. Before they did any kind of invasive procedure, like place a G-tube, they put her in the feeding hospital. They also diagnosed her with something called feeding aversion. All right? So, it's exactly what it sounds like. Now, where do we think, here's the hypothesis, Gypsy was born with what's called a high palate. There's many pictures of Gypsy's mouth for her dental work where you see this extremely high arched palate. She also had severe dental issues that had nothing to do with any drug she was taking as a young child, toddler. Her teeth were capped. This was before the so-called seizure disorder, where the so-called seizure medication came in, right? That they have blamed, that her attorney and others have said this is why Gypsy had to have her teeth removed. That's not true. Gypsy had teeth problems all along from a very young age, as evidenced by her baby pictures with chrome caps over her baby teeth. If you want me to do a thing on the teeth, I can do that too. I've already gone over that in other videos, but I'm doing this G-tube placement issue right now. Now, in the year 2004, we get another piece of evidence about Gypsy's issues with needing a G-tube. At this point, we know she was in the feeding hospital, and the only thing they could do was place the G-tube. They tried everything they could. They had a multidisciplinary team working on her to see if they could fix this feeding aversion. But besides the feeding aversion, we find out in 2004, which probably they found out when she was in the hospital for a month, they would have done what's called a barium swallow. Now, I don't have the records of the barium swallow from when she was in the hospital, but I do have the records of the barium swallow from 2004. And it's just common sense that it's probably the same thing that was happening prior to 2004. But let's take a look at the barium swallow. Here is the barium swallow test from 2004, and what it reads is the patient exhibited significant difficulty in swallowing all consistency of food. There is significant gagging and coughing with each attempt to swallow. Only small quantities were able to be swallowed without spitting out the food. No evidence of aspiration or penetration was noted. There was a global delay in swallowing, and then I actually wrote that out on a bigger thing. I don't know if this is for the TikTok purposes. Half of this is probably going to get cut out, but this exam was 1/27/2004 at Tulane University. Okay, so at that point, we're in 2004. My point is, before they placed the G-tube, prior to this, when she was in the feeding hospital, when she was about 7, 8 years old, around the year 2000 or just prior to the year 2000, they would have done a barium swallow. It's definitely one of the tests that they would have done while she was in the hospital for a month. They would have done a lot of different tests before they placed that G-tube. So there is significant evidence based on her difficulty swallowing, the high arch palate that she has to this day. To this day, we've seen Gypsy has problems swallowing. She has problems drinking fluids. She does this weird thing with her neck when she swallows. Okay, I'm not making fun of her. I'm just stating facts. One of the pieces of evidence that I found was this video that I slowed down from when Gypsy was at Disneyland on one of her many trips to Disneyland. And this is her eating what's called, she calls it royal mashed potatoes. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to fast forward here. She's talking about it. She's going to put just the tiniest bit of mashed potatoes on her fork. And then she's going to try to swallow. And the difficulty she has in swallowing this food is significant. Let's watch. There you can see the fork. There's just a tiny amount of what she calls royal mashed potatoes. Now let's watch.
The Vodafone winter sale is now on. Save up to £1,194 with the Samsung Galaxy S25 when you trade in an eligible phone. Hurry, offer ends the 6th of January. So go in-store or online today. Vodafone.
She's doing this, I'm going to show you, you can't see me, this bobbing head motion to try to get it down. Bobbing head motion, bobbing head motion. Face is a lot of happy face, like, she doesn't like it, doesn't like trying to swallow it. It's difficult.
So it might come through.
Now, whether this is psychological or partially psychological, or it started out, my theory is it started out physical because of the high arch palate. She had difficulty swallowing, and then she became scared to swallow. Feeding aversion. Here we go one more time. Check it out. Her face. And this neck bob that she does. She's pushing it back. It's not a normal way you swallow food, is to bob your neck. She does that also as an adult. And I can show you that too. And she's not happy with this, but now she's going to go ahead and put on a happy face. Okay? So what I'm talking about is this. It's okay, Maisie. I'm talking to my dog. This isn't like a super professional video. So she's doing this neck to push it back. Okay? All right. Hold on. Let me get you one more piece of evidence from her as an adult. All right. This one here, swallowing liquid. You can notice she's going to take a really small amount. Hold on. I'm going to back it up. Just going to do the same thing. Her head down. Again. Swallow it again. It's difficulty. This isn't food. This is just liquid. Right there. She's the way she's has to put her head in this position. It's you can look it up. It's difficulty swallowing. So she has it still. She doesn't want to admit it. That's fine. But I think we've got enough proof to why the G-tube was placed. If a kid in the hospital for a month isn't proof enough, the letter prior to the peg placement, Gypsy's so fearful of eating that we had to place the percutaneous endoscopic tube for nutritional purposes. Prior to that peg placement, Gypsy had undergone intensive evaluation and attempted treatment for her feeding aversion.
Yeah,
so what they're saying here, and I'm just going to bring this home, this had nothing to do with her mother. Before they placed the G-tube, they worked her up in the hospital for a month. intensive evaluation by the feeding hospital. Then in 2004, you see that barium swallow test, which says she has difficulty swallowing all consistencies of food. That's why she had a G-tube. It had nothing to do with her mother. Okay? This is not supposed to be a long video. It's already long. Gypsy problem due to her microdeletion, if you don't know, had to do with her GI tract, her gastrointestinal tract, which starts in your mouth. Okay, it goes down. So that's your G tract starts in your mouth, goes down. So the problem with swallowing, the problems with the high palate, all the way down. She had GERD. She had gastrointestinal reflux disease, and so that's how her microdeletion affected her. Besides other things, but the few surgeries that she did have are all related to her GI tract. All right. One more thing. I had a nurse also that sent me this.
Guys, 3 days into this game, and I have uninstalled all other games in my phone. In-game ads, pay to win, say goodbye to all of these nonsense. Here in this game, you'll only get pure RPG fun. No shortcuts, no VIP privileges. Instead, it is every companion you meet and every dungeon you cleared that makes you stronger. So, dive in, if you're ready for a real adventure.
Comment, I guess she left for Perez Hilton. Nurse here. This woman has a lot more experience than I do. I used to take care of G-tubes. I knew all about them, but this woman really, really focused on them in her practice. She says, nurse here, with the PEG tube experience, the quality of life increases with early intervention for signs and symptoms treated at an early age for microdeletion. That's documented on peer-reviewed medical sites. It is possible the PEG tube could have been discontinued earlier. I agree with that, possibly, but it wasn't just failure to thrive. It was also her severe food aversion. Clinically, PEG tubes do not usually just get pulled out. In normal circumstances, they do a trial discontinue, where they see if she can maintain calories or food down before pulling the actual tube out. And I just want to pause here. That could be why they did that 2004 barium swallow. They were trying to see if they could take, I don't know this for a fact, but I suspect they don't like to keep those things in. They're probably trying to see, let's do the barium swallow. Let's see how she does at swallowing foods now, a few years after having the PEG tube or G-tube placed. Okay, so that's what this woman is saying. We do not have all the medical records, so we do not know if there was a trial to discontinue the PEG tube. But we do know this, that she had the barium swallow test in 2004, which could have been part of them trying to see if they could discontinue the PEG placement G-tube. Okay, back to this comment. What we can say for sure with the information we have, it was medically necessary at the time it was placed. I hope this helps. So there is from another medical professional that worked with PEG tubes, G-tubes for over 10 years. So she concludes, and as I do, that there is enough evidence out there at this point to say at one point Gypsy for sure needed that. I don't know what would have happened. 36 pounds, an 8-year-old, 36 pounds, doesn't sound good to me. Had nothing to do with what Dee Dee said. They had her in the feeding hospital for a month. All kinds of tests during that to help her try to tackle this issue with her weight. And finally, they concluded, because of her feeding aversion, probably difficulty swallowing too, I would imagine, although I don't have those records. 2004, I have the record. She has severe difficulty swallowing. So it makes sense that a few years before that, she had severe difficulty swallowing, correct? That is why Gypsy needed to have the G-tube placed. I hope this helps anybody who needed this information. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Just how big will The Winds of Winter be when George R. R. Martin finally finishes writing it? He has said that it will be huge, but what does that mean? 1,000 pages? 2,000? More? Let's work it out based on what we already know. Hi everyone, this is Robert. Welcome to Indie Geek. On this channel we cover A Song of Ice and Fire.
It's like, I'm not a killer. I've never been a killer. I don't even hunt. So I don't kill animals. I don't kill humans. But, it's the fact that someone...
Oh, yeah, they got those pictures. She was posing with them now. They have that all over the internet. So, one having my son, one by the movie, and it's like everybody's thinking like, Asia,
No, it was a Halloween costume. And the other people. I took the pictures and it was last October that I took the pictures, but posted more in May. And I'm like, have you ever seen the comic book Batman? Well, I want to put a Hunter, you got it? Yeah, and the character is called Harley Quinn. It's the Joker's girlfriend.
That's exactly what Hunter said.
Yeah.
My grandson, you got it?
Exactly. But they use that against me in court, and I'm like, I'm just kidding. Also, I picture me as a princess and different stuff like this. You know what I'm saying?
Hey guys, welcome back to Becca Scoop. Second video today. Don't know if you're watching it in a row or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But welcome back, or welcome if you're one of our new subscribers. I am Becca Scoops, and this is the Becca Scoops channel. We are currently going over the salacious, cringy, and incriminating videos that have come out about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So settle in. Like I say, this is going to be a bumpy ride. Now, I held off my last video. I covered some of those videos. This, we're going to do a little mix-up here of stuff that's going on around it, like Ryan Anderson's reaction. We're going to do some comments, some of your guys' comments. And then we're going to go over some of what's coming out of her camp. So let's just get started right away, okay? Let's start out by seeing what Ryan Anderson has to say about these salacious videos.
And you're asking me, have you seen those videos before we got married? Do you think I saw them? Okay. Use your brain, people. Use your brain. She never wore a wig with me. She never had to. She always had a real hair with me. So, just say it. Never once did she wear a wig with me. In any character, anything.
I think that's a dig at Ken. Ken, are you listening? I think Ryan's telling you that when Gypsy was with him, they didn't do wigs and role playing. Ryan looks a little serious there. Let's see what else he has to say.
Anything. I feel feel sick living. Well, y'all feel sick. Like, do you think I liked hearing that a couple of videos? No, I didn't. Like, it wasn't a turn on, guys. It wasn't. It wasn't. How's it feel to dodge a bullet? It's like I'm finding things out like everybody else is, and I've had to make my own opinion. I've had to live my own time with it. I get what you're saying. I do understand what the hell you're saying. I know y'all want details and stuff, but like I'm just telling y'all my experience. I done said I didn't know that girl.
I didn't know that girl.
I just said I never met that girl that y'all seen in those videos.
Which one? Ruby, Demona, Kitty, Candy? There's more than one, Ryan. There's a lot of them.
I never met her. I mean, her mama was already gone by the time I come in. I didn't meet her. I didn't know her. I didn't know that girl. I only know the girl that she showed me. And y'all have all said it's a lie.
Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, if you're claiming that she didn't do this role-playing stuff with you, you would be one of the first guys, Ryan. In fact, when Gypsy got to prison, she talked about wanting to role-play going to this place called the Kitty Chateau, which is kind of like a Temu Playboy mansion.